Meeting to order, the Griggs County Commission special meeting. It is 1 o'clock on November 14th, 2014. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. John Wakefield.
Here.
Dale Peterson.
Here.
Ron Dahl is absent today. Sean Steffen here. And Troy is here. Okay, as everyone is aware of by now, Cindy gave me her letter of resignation on Monday after our canvassing meeting, and today will be her last day of work here at the courthouse. So, in light of that, John expressed a concern that we take some sort of action prior to her departure so that we aren't void of an auditor. And I called out to the North Dakota Association of Counties and talked to their legal beagle. And since Samantha is already the auditor-elect, it seems like it just makes the most sense to appoint Samantha to fill out Cindy's term upon her, starting on Monday. I think the letter says the 16th, which is, I think, only because that's the last day of the pay period, if I understand correctly. So that's, unless you guys want to do something else, in my head that seems like the only thing that makes sense. But
how do we handle as far as it's kind of specific on when we change from one auditor to the next, as far as closing out the books and that kind of thing?
Cindy has some obligations that she needs to fulfill before she hands over the reins to Samantha.
Yeah, and it's very important that Samantha makes sure that's done, because it's done for the purpose of assigning responsibility. So up until that point, Cindy is responsible for the duties of the auditor, and after that point, Samantha will be responsible. So there has to be a clear line drawn there, and the Century Code spells out fairly clearly what has to be done. So is that taking place, or?
I have not spoken to Cindy.
Cindy and Connie will be, you're not closing out the books?
No, we're just balancing everything at the end of the day.
Two days at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just,
We'll start about 3:30 or so.
So you guys are aware of what needs to happen before she turns the reins over?
okay.
Is there you gotta have a certification or something, or?
No, there's no requirement for that. Just that the books are balanced, that make sure nothing is different on the bank accounts. I called out to the state auditor's office.
Oh, okay.
And asked if we needed to do a closing. And he said no, just do it regular end of the month as usual. So.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Yep. So
we'll make sure everything else balances.
So what is, assuming that we appoint Samantha, what then is the choices for the deputy auditor? How does that work? Do we appoint the deputy auditor? Do we?
Not in my understanding.
Or the auditor hires the...
You fund the position, but I don't think you make the selection.
Must still be no different than when Cindy hired Samantha as deputy.
There hasn't even been an opening. Today there's not an opening for that position. So I would imagine Samantha's going to have to advertise.
Yeah, it has to be advertised.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, I guess.
Okay.
And I spoke with Emily just hypothetically and asked if she would be able to help a little bit on the days that she's not in the tax director's office. If she could come in and just help a little bit. She said that she would do that, but she doesn't want to, I guess, commit to it. And so she was going to talk to her babysitter, talk to her husband, and see, what she could figure out. But she said that if things are slow in her office, that she would be more than willing to come in and help as much as she
And she's not actually the auditor yet.
No, she starts in
April.
yeah. So it kind of be.
And I
learning
think
process.
Trail County is helping them. According to, I called out to the the North Dakota Tax Department. The old auditor from Steele County works in Bismarck.
Is that Linda?
Linda, yep.
Yeah.
And, I lived in Findlay for 5 years, so I knew those people. But she just said, if you have any questions or you need any help, obviously Connie knows a lot of the auditor's role also. But she said just to call out there, or the North Dakota Association of County has resources that they can help you also. And the other person that she mentioned when we were on our phone call was Jack Davidson from Nelson County. I mean, he's been an auditor for 100 years up there. So.
I know Cindy was saying that I have to get a tax levy report done, and that Linda or Becca would be the best to help me with that, because we have TIFs and all the other people don't. So I was gonna see what you guys decided here today, and then I was gonna see if I could get one of those ladies to help, I guess.
No. Do you need, I suppose she needs to do an oath?
I suppose. I don't know.
Did you bring one with? I solemnly swear.
Do I just repeat after you?
Oh,
I don't know.
Here's your chance, King.
Well, I'm just guessing. I mean, any official that takes office, typically we did.
yeah.
I'm certain that has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it has to be done before she actually starts in her official capacity, but I would almost think so.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes after my term has started, I've done the oath a week or two later, so I don't know if it's a hard and fast rule, but
You can backdate
if
it.
we can find it, yeah. We should be able to find one today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you do the oath every time you run for election.
Every time a new term starts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your term is April,
No, May 1st.
May 1st, okay. So
Is-
you do that in the presence of the auditor then? Or the county commission, or
Yeah, usually just the auditor.
the judge, or?
Yeah. I travel to the Supreme Court.
I did one when I was deputy. Is that the same, or
Yeah.
It'll be real similar.
okay?
You should probably talk about if she gets help from somebody, how much she can pay to do levies. At least I know you're gonna need help doing that.
Doing levies. Oh, you mean like the state tax department will charge us for it?
No,
Oh.
to do up our levy sheets and come up with you guys set the budget, but the levies haven't been set yet. And there's a lot of work for that, and I don't know anything about that. And also probably talk about what you're gonna pay Sam in the interim. If that'll be the same or different than when she starts in April, or, I don't know. 'Cause I know she's gonna have to do a lot of work.
Do levies. Oh, you mean like the state tax department will charge us for it?
Yeah, usually just the auditor.
Okay.
She'll need to know for payroll next time.
And I just got my probation raise.
Yeah, why do you even ask for it? If you knew this was coming?
I didn't know this was coming.
Are you sure?
I
Sat in the hot seat for no good reason. Did you find one?
I think so.
Did you email it to her? No?
Yeah, lost it.
Be satisfied.
Oh.
Binoculars.
Does anybody else have any other ideas that you would like to visit about?
Well, I think, if we appoint Sam as a temporary auditor until she takes over in April, looks like the best path to.
Oh, yeah, so it doesn't make sense to have someone else first and then go back to that, so.
Somebody gonna make a motion to that effect, or are you just gonna sit here and smile at each other?
I'd move that we appoint Sam Foss to fill the vacated auditor's position of Cindy Antone effective November 17th.
Been moved by Sean to appoint Samantha as auditor until which time that she takes over officially as per the election. Is there a second to the motion?
I would second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? I wonder, part of the discussion should be the list of things that we need to take care of.
August 1st would be to advertise
Oath,
the position, the oath.
auditor salary,
How much to pay for help?
Pay for help, yeah.
yeah, that would be the deputy auditor salary.
Well, not.
Well,
Well,
there'd be
if
some
I-
additional
Outside help,
outside,
for mill levies especially.
whether it's Emily or.
Right.
So if I had like Linda come and help me for like a weekend or something, then how much we could pay her for that?
That would almost have to be something that would be decided between Linda and the county commission. Because I don't know what her expectations are. I don't really want to budget. I don't want to give Sam a number and then Linda say, no, I'm not going to do that.
And it may not be Lynn, she may not have a weekend for you to
It
help.
might be somebody else, yeah. I guess those things can be handled as, I mean, all of these issues can be handled as individual items too. Maybe we ought to vote on the motion on the table and then move on to that stuff.
The duties or other things otherwise.
Is there any more discussion on the motion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Congratulations, Emily, or Samantha.
Thank you.
If you need any help doing anything, you let us know, because we'll do whatever we can to help you get this thing. It's going to be a little while before you're comfortable, obviously.
Thank you.
We don't know much, but we know people that know stuff. Now that Samantha has accepted this position, now we can talk about her salary.
You should maybe
That was
check
a
it
true
out first.
thought.
We've had a lot of discussion, I guess, through the budget process of salaries of elected officials. Obviously, an appointment is a little bit different deal. If you just want to use the auditor's salary as the base salary, or if you want to.
She's gonna do the same job the auditor was doing. So
We hope so.
wouldn't be,
The only argument you could make would be if we need to hire people to help her get up to speed.
right.
But on the other side of that coin, you know, when I've been employed by people, they've never charged me for educating me, so
No,
I almost don't feel like that would be fair.
it's just the cost of doing business, basically, to provide the education.
Presumably, since the the tax statements need to go out in December, correct? That levy stuff needs to happen relatively quickly.
That's usually our Christmas present, isn't it?
Yes. We're usually able to print them about the.
Isn't it just the week before Christmas or 20th?
Well, yeah, right around the 10th or 12th, they're mailed.
I guess as far as that goes too, if we left the salary, just if she slid right.
If we leave the salary as budgeted, when she takes over the position, that will be the
There's no
salary.
change.
We really wouldn't need to take any action
And
unless we're going to change it.
for a little time here, we're not going to have the deputy, obviously, so that gives us a little.
She might be
Push for some-
she might be burning a little midnight oil.
Yeah. But I mean, the deputy position's going to be empty for a bit, so that actually gives us a little cushion in the
Right.
budget too for some
Extra.
help. So
I'll just throw something else in the mix. I know Cindy was also lead bookkeeper and risk management. She got paid something for both of those duties.
And workman's comp.
Well, that's the risk management,
Oh.
workers' comp. Yeah.
What was the other one? Risk
Weed management,
Oh.
or weed bookkeeper, I mean.
Mm.
The weed board, those aren't duties that are underneath the auditor's definition, really.
No, I don't believe so. I think anybody could be doing the weed. I know in one county, well, in several counties, the risk management person was the treasurer. Not that I want it, I'm just saying that. So I think that could be anybody who is willing to take that on. And the weed, I would think, could be too. I don't know.
That surprises me.
And now I'll go downstairs and Cindy will tell me the opposite, so. I just don't know.
I guess I'd make a motion then, we keep the salary the same
I don't even know if we need a motion
for
for
Samantha or.
No, probably don't, just the auditor gets the auditor's salary.
It's already budgeted.
Under duties of the county auditor, paragraph 6, perform and transact all county business without extra compensation. So basically, their duties can be about anything that's dealing with
They're
county
assigned,
business.
or-
Yeah, the way it looks.
I would imagine the weed board's pretty minimal for bookkeeping.
Well,
Especially now this time of year, I mean, from
Yeah,
till
this
spring
time.
comes, I would imagine it's pretty.
she just keeps track of their checkbook or something?
I know she does that report.
That's
you
the
guys get.
reimbursements, I imagine.
But I mean, that's pretty stagnant till spring comes, I would imagine.
And I would think that is something we could handle at next week's meeting too.
I would hope
So
so.
we could find out more information from her on it. And the risk management one too. That one, I know there's more work too because
What does
they're
that
managed.
entail, being risk management?
That's like planning that workers' comp meeting that's coming up, and I know there's like 1 or 2 mandatory meetings she hasn't to go to. She's gone to Bismarck or Fargo for meetings on different, and bringing in somebody if, it's also something about when if somebody in the county has an accident on county time or on the property, then there are reports to do and make sure. I'm sure there's more I don't know about.
Can't imagine that being separate from the auditor's job. That's
I
floors
know
me.
it's not every auditor that is the risk manager, so.
Oh.
I suppose it would be something like having another HR person if we were a big enough county to do that. I don't know.
I don't either. My wife does all that stuff at the elevator because she does the payroll.
Well, it only seems fitting, that's where it would.
She goes
Fall,
to
I
she
guess.
goes to the workman's comp meetings.
We could find out
I
more.
would think so. It's 11-1304. The county auditor shall be the chief financial officer of the county and shall keep complete and detailed records of all financial transactions of the county. And it's certainly that.
Work comp premiums all fall under their claims, I would imagine.
But then it also.
Be interesting to know when when that got carved out. Workman's comp's been around a while.
Sam and I can try and find out more information for next Friday's meeting.
Okay.
It appears it is a duty of the, any financial transaction is a duty of the auditor, so I don't know how you can take the workman's comp part of it out of there.
Well, obviously the auditor is gonna pay the premium for workman's comp based on the positions and the salary levels in the county. But I think what I'm hearing is the administrative side of that can be done by anybody. I suppose in some companies they have a safety officer if you're a big enough company or whatever. I don't know. I've never worked for one big enough to have a position just for that. Nodak was probably the biggest company I worked for, and there were 70 employees.
Yeah, it probably can be carved out of there, but it certainly can be a duty of the auditor also. Perform and transact all county business without extra compensation.
Right.
So,
I don't know why you carve it out of there. If you felt that the auditor should be compensated more because they perform those duties, then you should just increase the auditor salary. I don't know why you'd have
Just leave it as one and base
payment for
salary.
this duty and payment for this duty and payment to be the auditor. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
well, and that's, again, it's well within the duties prescribed in the Century Code.
Okay.
So I don't
So-
think that's a big deal.
Next thing, do we want to give Sam permission to advertise for a deputy?
Yeah.
But I'm still not so convinced that the sole response or the sole authority for hiring a deputy lays with the
Auditor.
deputy with the head of the office. Because the county commission is responsible for all county employees, the commissioners are.
All unelected ones.
Yeah. Well, even the conduct of the elected ones.
Conduct, yeah.
Yeah. And the fact, well, I don't know where that lies, but I think we should try to hire from within the county first. We certainly have a vacancy coming up in clerk of court's office. We certainly have a deputy there that's going to be without a job. Can we
That
give?
won't be till January 1st, so it's hard before then.
Well, technically not till January 1st, but why couldn't that transaction take place now?
Well,
She would
If
still
there's-
wouldn't get the help.
if there,
She still wouldn't get the help.
yeah, she would if there was a position and she applied for it and she decided to come over to this office, she could do it at any time.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I mean, that, to me, in my mind, that's how that would work.
I do.
The other one would be vacated and the deputy auditor would be.
And it's going to be vacated as of the first of the month anyway.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know which one is.
Right. Well, that I don't either. I don't either.
I don't know how you'd approach.
Well, I guess regardless, it's gotta be advertised so we can
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and.
I think we're bound to advertise, aren't we?
I don't know that. I don't know that when we already have when we're talking about an employee that's already here. Can you switch jobs within the county? Is that doable without having to advertise? Is it a new position in, or are we just changing her duties from being the deputy clerk of court to the deputy auditor.
Got it.
I know when I needed a deputy and Artis was the tax director and the bookkeeper at the time, I didn't advertise because she came to me and wanted the job, and
I would think that, I think the county commissioners have the ability to allocate positions, and if she's already in a position in the county, I mean, it would have to be done with cooperation, but I don't know if we would have to advertise, and even if we did advertise, you would think that experience means something, and she certainly has experience in the system, and maybe neither one of those girls wanted to be involved in this new position, or in this deputy auditor's position, but I think we owe it to them to try to give them preferential treatment to keep them in a job. I just don't know how to approach that. And it should probably be approached on a less than official level to start with, Samantha. So that's my 2 cents on that. Maybe there wasn't going to be anybody that was looking for a job after the first year, but we should sure find out.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Could I talk to those gals, talk to Kelly, see which one she was leaning towards keeping, and then talk to the other, or both of them, see what their thoughts are, and then if there isn't any interest, then advertise?
Well, I think that's the road we're trying to go down.
But ultimately, I don't think we can tell we can't tell them that they have to take the job. So Kelly would be out of the loop, as the commissioners would be out of the loop. It would be individually those 2 girls. They have the right to quit there and come here, but for us to say, or Kelly to say, or anybody else to tell them, well, you're staying and you're going, I don't think we can do that. So, I mean, under that circumstance, say Kelly wanted to keep one and the other one wanted, they can quit and go wherever they want. And so,
Right.
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't really
right.
enter into this picture today.
No.
I think if I were you, I'd just talk to those individuals.
It's more of an inquiry if anybody's interested in the position.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, just give them a heads up that we're going to advertise for it, and that we think there should be some experience, some preferential treatment given because of experience in the system. Other than that, we can't guarantee anything, but yeah. And that way we're not excluding anybody, and we hopefully don't displace anybody out of the
Well,
system.
I mean, even if you got into if somebody argued with that approach, it would be pretty hard to win the argument, because you have somebody that's trained into another position or 2,
Right.
and you offer them a position to be trained into another position, and in an organization this size, if you're short-handed, that person that has multiple talents is valuable.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of they can fill a hole if there is one.
Yeah.
So I think that just makes
Makes perfect sense. You can walk down the hall, somebody's gone one day and fill a need that
Yeah.
right.
wouldn't otherwise be the case.
Yeah. But I just think it'd be courteous to let them know that that's the way you're thinking. And
I agree.
Yeah.
And it would make it easier for Samantha too.
I suppose we should inquire if we are absolutely obligated to advertise to the position.
I think
we can anyway.
I think we
can
should
just
ask
cover it.
for forgiveness instead of permission. So,
Well, we can just we can advertise. Let's advertise and
But it still can be filled again.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it can still can be filled from within based on experience.
true enough.
you run into trouble when you advertise and then fill it before the ads run very long.
Yeah, we'll have to do it right away and paper them.
Okay.
But there's nothing to say that you couldn't fill it temporarily, on a temporary point, until we pick somebody, and if the temporary person turned out to be the person that we picked, that's be good too. But I think we better advertise it.
Okay.
2 weeks or something like that.
So if we get in the paper next week and the following week.
Okay.
But in the meantime, if you want to talk to somebody within the courthouse and see if they want to move over and help out, that's fine.
Interesting.
Or if you just want to help the taxpayers out and do it all yourself, that's better, yeah.
Moved up. So do I need to go and get an oath? Or
I can't find one.
I'm sure there's one in the auditor's office then.
yeah, I could go in and get one if you guys wanted to recess or
Yeah, I'd make a motion to take a 10-minute recess for a week.
Before we do that, before I recognize you, Mr.
Yes,
Wakefield,
yeah, well, unfortunately, it's good.
to somebody who would, if you guys would like Samantha to get an ad in the paper,
Oh,
probably should have a motion to do that.
Okay. And we have Samantha advertise the position of deputy auditor as soon as possible. Next week's paper, I guess, would be best. Advertise for 2 weeks.
the salary will be that of
The
the,
previous deputy auditor.
Current deputy auditor
before her raise.
before,
Or probationary salary.
okay?
But she worked so hard over training, it doesn't matter. I'll second that.
Good. Motion made by Sean, seconded by John to have Samantha advertised for a position of deputy auditor at the starting deputy auditor's salary. Seconded by John Wakefield. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. John,
Aye.
Dale,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
I move we take a 10-minute recess while Samantha finds an oath of office.
I move second.
Been moved and seconded to take a 10-minute recess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Call the meeting of the Commissioners back to order. It is 1:51 p.m. The next item on the agenda, well, there's only one item on the agenda, but we have an oath here that Samantha's brought up.
Can I take it verbally?
She needs to recite the oath, I would
Yes.
presume.
Before or after? Hi.
I'd say before.
Before, I think.
You witnessed her signature already, so I guess you could notarize it.
I, Samantha Quast of Cooperstown, North Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of appointed Griggs County Auditor effective November 17th, 2014, according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Makes me want to say amen.
She's got pepper spray walker, so you better be careful.
When they're younger, we'll know.
Okay, this is not used anymore. My commission expires. So
Yeah, I know.
it's on my stamp.
All
which-
these documents are outdated.
Thank
Here
you.
you are.
Put explain to the governor.
Christie.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Christy.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Any other auditor-related decisions that need to be made at this point?
When I call like Linda or Becca to come and help, do I call them and ask what they would like to be paid, or one of you to call them to see what they would do if they would come and help?
Well, no, it's really now, it's really up to the office of the auditor, because now you are basically an elected official, appointed elected official. So, yeah, you're going to have to find out what the fee will be, and then you're going to have to come to us.
Well, if it fits your budget, I guess it would be.
Well, I think the point is that it may not, depending on how much help she needs.
Right.
So at that point, then we have to approve some amendment to the budget.
Right, but it all depends on how long the deputy auditor's position goes unfilled. That'll
Right, so there's a cushion there.
Yeah.
I think we've got enough time that if you get somebody before the next meeting or whatever, we'll have some idea of what the cost is gonna be, and we can talk about it again.
Okay.
You mean as far as from the state to come and help? And they have a program, don't they? They call it,
Oh, I have no idea.
I think so. I think they have a program for that.
And I think your biggest obstacle right now is obviously the levies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have
And-
fair handle on the other duties.
Yep, and
So
Cindy
far.
said probably the best thing would be to bring somebody in on a weekend so that there's no emails, no phone calls, nothing but just, to work on that. So,
Have you done payroll?
have I done payroll? Yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with that.
Yep, I do payroll since I started. So,
Oh, okay,
yeah, I'm good on that.
good.
As long as you can pay yourself all as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just gonna be a little bit of a learning process, but I don't think that's gonna be a big deal. It isn't like this hasn't happened thousands of times. I mean, there's new auditors come into positions.
Just from elections.
Right, with no training or anything, so it's, I think there's plenty of resources to call the state or call the North
Association
Dakota.
economies.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty crucial that you learn it on your own. I think that would be the best outcome.
But there's lots of resources for you, so don't
Yeah.
be afraid to access them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of business cards, like a stack like this, and I'm like, okay.
And I would refrain from, just as is my personal opinion, I would refrain from calling other auditors and asking their opinion. I would go right to the North Dakota Association of Colonies or someone they recommend, because there's so many different ways it's done throughout the state, and most of them get set in their ways, and they don't.
You might learn a non-efficient way to do things.
Right.
Or,
And so we'll put up with your non-efficiency 35 years from now, but not now. So you can get set in your ways if you're there that long, but that's why you better learn on your own, so that it's done right, so it's right and everything's up to date, and then hopefully you keep it that way every year, but more on top of things. So,
Okay.
good luck, and I don't think there'll be any problems. If you have problems, give one of us a call, or give whoever can help you, we'll help you out. And if you make a mistake, rather than hide it from somebody, just tell us about it, and so we can fix it, because there won't be any consequences for mistakes made that are admitted to, but mistakes made that aren't, then there's consequences for that.
Okay, anything else? Anybody have any business? Ready, set, go?
Go. Thank you.
I move that we adjourn.
Been moved by John that we adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
And second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, meeting adjourned. Next meeting, meeting adjourned at 1:58. Next meeting will be on the 18th of November at 10:30 a.m., which is a special meeting for the purpose of dissolving of county-owned property, and the next regular meeting is going to be November 21st, 2014 at 1 p.m.
Colonel.